Hello friends, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to create a stunning interactive matching scrapbook page. It's going to include stamps, a stencil, and some mixed media. And it's super simple, and I hope this inspires you to try it out. I'm going to go ahead and ink the interactive page so that it's not white, and I'm just going to go ahead and use the brush and just add some ink down. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. It's just so that I can add color to create a fun mixed media spread. And it's super easy. I just go in circles with the ink just to try and make it as even as possible, the ink. And then I do have some blue I'm going to add just to pull some of the blue from the photo that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to go ahead and add some blue to the brick just to create a fun background. And I'm just going to lightly tape this down just so that the stencil doesn't slip while I'm adding some ink down. If you want a lighter shade, just go light on the brush. And if you want a darker shade, press down hard so that you get all the ink on the paper. And then I'm just going to wipe this down to clean it off. And I am going to go ahead, I was going to add some brown into the brick, but I didn't want to mess it up. So I just decided I'm just going to go ahead and add some shadows around the layout using a darker color here. And it's just perfect. I like how this is coming along. And then I have this stamp. It's a grungy stamp that I've been wanting to use and I haven't used it yet. I think this will work out for this layout. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it using my platform. And that way that I can go ahead and add ink a few times so that I get a nice print. And whereas if you used a acrylic block, you can't really get that to line up once you stamp it once. It's kind of hard. I've been stamping for a while now, and I just don't recommend it. And so sometimes I add 2 or 3 times the ink just to get that to look the way I want it. And this time I just used 2 and it worked out. Because I just want it to be in the background, so it's not going to be like my main focal point. It's just to add something in the back. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use this photo, and I'm going to mat this on the paper just to create a nice photo mat for the photo, because I like to add dimension and depth to my layouts. And if you don't mat your photos, it can look a little flat, which is what I'm trying to prevent. And then I had this strip. It's for my scraps here. I keep all my scraps because they are perfect for when you're working on small size layouts. And so I'm going to go ahead and mount this down here. And excuse me, and I don't really have a big plan on this layout, so it's going to take me some time. This took me about 30 minutes. I had an interactive pocket page from another collection, and what I'm doing is I'm tracing that down on pattern paper because I'm going to make my own pocket using that as a template. And this is just to show you how you can get creative with multiple collections to make them work for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this down, and I use a pencil to do that, which you can see it, just so that I don't have any markings after I'm done. And then I'm going to use this as a template to score the lines. Okay. And then the bottom there, I'm going to score that as well. And it just gives me an idea of where to score. And look at this. I made my own pocket using a previous template. Isn't that cool? So this is fun. And then I'm going to go ahead and add this to the right side of the layout. Or I should say interactive spread, because it's going to be a flip when I put it in the book. And then I'm just going to put the mat on there just to hold it in place while it dries. And now I have some embellishments that I pulled from the Flower Emporium collection and the Rust and Revs. And I'm mixing the 2 collections. And you're probably thinking, how is that going to work? But actually it does work, because I just make it work for me. I'm going to go ahead and create a tag using the metal die. And I was going to use the gray side, but then I decided I'm going to go ahead and use this instead because it kind of goes with the layout, the way it looks with the colors. And then I'm going to glue this. This is Edward's 6th grade picture, so I thought the clip would be fun. And I'm going to just add it there. And it's just not sticking, so I got to add glue on the bottom there and just leave it alone. And then I'm going to add some string on here and tie that, and then trim the excess off. And I have this clip from the Flower Emporium collection. I'm going to go ahead and tuck that behind there just to create some layers up there because I love playing with embellishments. And then I have this fun ruler die, laser die. I'm going to just cover the pink part behind the photo and you can't even tell. And then I have these rub-ons that are going to really work for this layout. And I like the splashes and the puddles, and it's totally going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and I'm trying to use colors that will look right. Okay, so blue and black and brown, that all blends nicely together. And so that was my thought process, is I'm taking the colors directly from the photo to use as a fun page. And then I'm just using a bone folder to rub down the rub-on. It's fun. I love rub-ons. They're great. You can add them to photos. You can add them to your rub them on your embellishments to create layers. They create backgrounds, fun backgrounds, I should say. And so there's so many possibilities. I'm going to use the rub-on piece for my title below the picture there. And that's just to fill in some of the white space. Okay. I love it. Fun. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do on the right side now that the left side is finished. I like the orange, but I feel like it's a little too much. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. So I think I'm going to do the lighter, smaller circles. And so I'm going to go ahead and place the rub on here just to add something on that pocket. And then I'm going to go ahead and place this down because I do like those little rub ones coming out of the pocket. And sometimes it's hard to get those off. Okay, and then I'm not going to go with the orange. Instead, I'm going to use just black with the blue. And I think this will be better. And I'm going to go ahead and add that up there. Super, super fun and simple. Can you see how fast and easy this layout came together with just a little bit of stamping and stencils in the background? And then the rub ones really help pull this together. Super fun. I had so much fun with this. And then I'm looking for something else. I have this sentiment. It was in white. I'm going to go ahead and change it so that it works for the whole layout. Just an idea for that, you know, if you have white sentiments, you can ink them to make them work. And then I have this tag from the Flower Emporium collection. I'm going to go ahead and use this and put that in the pocket. And then I think I'm going to add some ink on there just to kind of make it all blend together nicely. And just to add some color, that's all. I'm going to pop that in there. And then if you want it, you could put some pictures in there. I'm not going to do that, but there's my layout. I think it turned out great. I hope you were inspired to give this a try. Don't be afraid to mix and match collection to make them work for you. Thanks so much for visiting today, and take care.